Hey guys, welcome back to New World Carpentry Solutions. In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to attach a T-Astrogold, which in this case is just another piece of wood that will be added to the side of my main door, or well, not my main door, but my main stationary door. Because I'm making a set of double doors, one of them is typically going to be stationary or locked. So I actually grabbed some T-Astrogold locks, which is just like a deadbolt that actually mounts inside of the door. But what I wanted was to actually have a beefed up piece of wood on the side of it that would also be thicker than the door just a little bit to actually protrude inside of the house. So when it's typically locked, it just adds an extra detail to the door. It looks almost like it's a fully stationary mutton bar separating the two doors, but it actually swings with the second door. So by undoing the two latches, this whole section will swing out. But I didn't want to just rely on just glue surface for this one. I do have an 1 3/4 thick door, so there's plenty of glue surface for me to glue and clamp up. But I was thinking about the other door that would be slamming against this constantly, and I figured I wanted to add some dowels to increase the shear strength of this. Just in case, I would rather it have to break through a bunch of dowels and the glue surface versus just, over 2-3 years of you slamming the door. Heaven forbid nobody slamming this door, but just in case, I wanted to make sure this door is as solid as possible. So I decided to apply, I believe I'm using 3/8 inch dowels. They might be 1/2 inch dowels. Actually, no, they're 3/8 dowels. Then I'm putting like 6 or 7 of them up there. So what I actually did was clamp the T-Astrogold bar directly to the side of the door and transfer all the marks over to the face of the door. And now I'm just using my square to transfer them around to the side where I'm actually going to drill all my dowel holes. Then I'm making sure they're all centered. And because the bar is going to be flush to the face of the door, I can go ahead and actually set the same depth from the face of the T-Astrogold bar and from the face of the door. And also, by doing so, this helps me align everything up when I go to glue this up. I don't want to have to try to fight along this 6'8" piece of, wood and make sure it's perfectly aligned with the door. These dowels are going to help do that as well and add the shear strength that I want. So one thing I do need to do though is set the proper depth as it goes through my actual dowel jig, because I know that the dowel jig has thickness, so I need to make sure that as the drill bit goes through the dowel, I'm getting the proper depth to make sure all my dowels actually fit. So what that did was actually use a little bit of blue tape, or I believe I marked directly on my drill bit. Actually no, this one has a stop color, I'm sorry. So with the depth properly marked on my drill bit and all the dowels already marked, all I have to do now is go through and plunge for all of my holes. This process, you do want to be really careful. You could clamp the jig to the door. Some of the nicer dowel jigs clamp themselves to whatever object you're drilling. I do plan to get another one. This one does have a fence, which is nice, but you want to be really particular whenever you're setting up and drilling dowel holes. Unlike biscuits or like a domino, you don't really have that give or that wiggle room that you want. I know that they're all going to be placed properly height wise, but I want to make sure that I don't have any dowel that doesn't want to slide into the hole, because as I was drilling, my jig shifted to the left or right a little bit. One thing I have tried before with some success is actually drilling 2 dowel holes directly next to each other and then using the jig to kind of wobble it out to make my own little domino slot. I still use dowels, but it gives it the left and right wiggle room. It's not as strong as an actual domino because the tenon isn't actually a tenon, it's only a narrow dowel. But again, if you want to make a little bit looser fit by like drilling a 1/2 hole over or a 1/4 hole over just to widen your dowel slot, you can give yourself a little bit more alignment freedom. I'm not doing that in this case because I feel pretty confident with my layout, but just another tip I can give for drilling dowels. Especially if you're using a jig like this where the accuracy can be hit or miss. It does have a self-centering function where you can kind of twist and rotate it by using the other side, but I wasn't going with centered of the door frame. I'm actually going slightly toward the front because I want to make sure that the latches that I add and route in afterwards don't interfere with any of my dowel placement. That will make more sense when we go over to the router table, so you guys will see that in the next video. But for right now, we're going to get all these holes drilled out, then I'm going to join back to you guys when I actually have them all drilled and I do my first test fit. with all the holes drilled, I'm able to come over here and try plopping in some dowels and do my first test fit. This is going to be without glue. I just want to, because I still have to actually route in my section for the T-Astrogold locks. But again, I wanted to make sure everything lines up nice and flush and that all the dowel holes lined up where I wanted them to be. And as you guys see here, I actually got it on my first try, which, you know, I only had one try, so I wanted to make more material. It's always exciting whenever you get these fits right. One reason why I do want to get a domino, I see one in my future, because stuff like this will be a lot easier. I do have a biscuit joiner, but I actually hate it. It's the Ryobi one. It's not as accurate as I really would like it to be. The fence is a perfect 90. It's not good. But besides that, you guys can see where we're going with the next video with the T-Astrogold lock. And if you guys have enjoyed, please make sure you guys leave me a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.